Record numbers of people are buying electric cars and plug-in hybrids. Perhaps the greatest barrier though to even more drivers taking the plunge are concerns about the C word, charging. How do you do it? Where do you do it? And how long does it take? These are just the kind of questions that potential buyers will be asking themselves, and exactly the kind of question we'll answer in the next few minutes. This is the country's top-selling plug-in hybrid, the Mitsubishi Outlander. And while not every electric car or plug-in hybrid works in exactly the same way, it's typical enough to serve as a good example. And the good news is that at the most fundamental level, it's no more difficult to charge a car than it is to charge a mobile phone, and that's something millions of us manage to do on a daily basis. In the future, and perhaps as soon as 2025, experts predict that we'll be able to charge our cars wirelessly. But for now, you still have to physically plug them in. And what governs how long a charge takes is not just the size of the car's battery, but the number of amps you can get into it. The higher the number of amps, the less time it takes. Take this Outlander for example. From a regular domestic supply, it'll take 5 hours to fully charge the car. Use a fast charger and that time drops to 3.5 hours. And if you use a rapid charger, you can get 80% of the car's charge in just 30 minutes. To cope with that variety of charger, the Outlander, like many cars of its type, comes with 2 different charging sockets, and which one you use depends on which type of charger you're using. For many people, charging their car at home will probably be the easiest option, although it would be a huge help if you do have a driveway or a garage or can park on the road really near the house. After all, your car will certainly be parked there long enough to do a full charge, and you won't have to wait to use the charge point. Essentially, there are 2 ways to charge a car at home. Either plug it into a conventional 3-pin socket or use a purpose-built fast charger. The only word of caution is that if you're using a 3-pin socket, don't use that charge box in conjunction with an extension cable. Fast chargers do need to be professionally installed, but they're certainly worth thinking about because they can considerably reduce the amount of time a full charge takes. Admittedly, they're not cheap, but in some cases they'll be thrown in as part of the deal when you buy the car in the first place, and there's also a government grant available to further reduce that cost. To keep the cost down even further, in some cases you can program the car to charge at a time when the electricity is available at a cheaper rate. Another worry may be security, but in fact there are no great risks. A wall-mounted charger is the ideal solution, but running a cable out underneath the locked door is okay. And don't worry about the car either. It'll be locked while it's on charge, and because the cable is locked in place as well, you don't have to worry you'll come out in the morning to find that some little Herbert has nicked your charging cable and left you with a flat battery. Likewise, there's no need to worry about that great British problem, rain. As long as the cables are plugged in properly, no rain can get into the system, and if they're not plugged in properly, no electricity will flow in the first place. It's when you need to use a public charger that you could run into some of the challenges that make running an electric car very different to running a petrol or a diesel car. With them, you can just fill your car up at any brand of fuel station, BP, Shell, whatever. But with an electric car, you need to subscribe to the network that operates a charging post before you can use it. To confuse matters further, not every car is compatible with every charger. Your car's maker will tell you exactly what you need, and the various apps and maps from the charging networks will show you what charger is available at each location. And in Tesla's case, the company is even setting up its own network of so-called superchargers that are available exclusively to Tesla drivers. Of course, with a limited range of electric cars, you'll probably never stray too far from home, so you can just sign up with a network that operates your local charging post. That said, there's no need to be scared of heading further afield, and if you do, planning ahead is crucial. Fortunately, the big networks like ChargeMaster have easily accessible maps and apps to help you find chargers. And if you sign up to a network like PlugShare, you can even use privately owned chargers. Using their mobile website, you can plan your route ahead with all the charge points en route highlighted. Services like these will show you what sort of charger is at each location, and in some cases they'll also show you whether it's in use. Source London is even working on a feature on its app which will let you book a charge point up to 40 minutes in advance. If you're worried you might not be able to find the right brand of charger, there's nothing to stop you just signing up to umpteen networks. You could soon find your wallet bulging with all the cards you'll need. It's also important to look into how the costs vary across the different networks. In some cases, charging is free after you've paid an initial subscription fee, but in others, you'll have to pay every single time you charge the car. And also, it's worth noting that some networks that are free now are looking to impose charges once they grow. Finally, don't forget that if you have to park your car in a public car park to charge it up, you'll probably also have to pay parking charges all the time the car's on charge. Running an electric car or a plug-in hybrid clearly demands a different mindset from running a petrol car or a diesel car. And what with the various charging networks, the different types of charger and the idiosyncrasies of each car, it's clearly not without its challenges. However, for many people, and in fact for many people who don't even realise it, running an electric car is already a genuinely practical proposition. At the same time, it's also true that for some motorists, it's an absolute impossibility. However, given the advances in technology that are coming, the longer ranges that these cars will be capable of, and the expansion of the charging networks, running and charging an electric car in the future is only going to get easier.